In a sleepy little fishing village, nestled right where the deep ocean meets the shore, lived a boy named Kai. Kai wasn't like the other kids who just played games. He had a deep love for the sea. His favorite thing in the world was collecting seashells, feeling the sand between his toes, and just watching the endless dance of the waves. He knew every secret the shoreline held, or so he thought. One evening, as the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, a strong wind began to blow. Kai, always drawn to the ocean's changing moods, was out on his usual walk along the beach. But tonight, something was different. Carried on the wind, he heard a sounder soft, beautiful humming like nothing he'd ever heard before. It was enchanting, melodic, and definitely not human. His curiosity piqued, Kai followed the gentle sound. It led him to a secluded cove he rarely visited, where the water was still and clear. There, behind a curtain of glowing seaweed that pulsed with a soft, ethereal light, he saw her. A tiny mermaid girl, no bigger than his arm, was hiding. She had wide, curious eyes and hair that floated around her like spun moonlight. Her name was Lila. Now, Lila wasn't your typical mermaid from the old sailors' tales. Mermaids were known for their powerful magic. Some could summon fierce storms. Others could create terrifying whirlpools that swallowed ships whole. But Lila's magic was different. It was small, quiet, and gentle. Her only power was the ability to calm the sea with her voice. Whenever she sang, the waves would soften and the water would become as smooth as glass. Despite her sweet nature, Lila was incredibly shy, especially around humans. Her family, who lived deep in the ocean's hidden kingdom, had always warned her about the surface world. Humans can't be trusted, they would say. They are greedy and take too much from the sea, so Lila would often swim close to the shore, watching the village from a distance. Filled with a deep curiosity she couldn't shake. One day, the sky turned a menacing shade of grey. A storm, bigger and more violent than any the village had ever seen, began to brew. This was no ordinary storm. It was conjured by a powerful sea mermaid, one who believed humans were a plague upon the ocean, stealing its treasures and polluting its waters. Vengeful waves, as tall as houses, crashed against the shore. Boats were tossed around like toys, and bolts of lightning tore through the sky, illuminating the chaos. The villagers scrambled to save their homes and their livelihoods. Kai, brave and determined, rushed to help his family secure their small fishing boat. But the sea was relentless. A massive wave crashed over the pier, and its powerful undertow began to pull him into the churning water. He struggled, calling out for help, but his voice was lost in the roar of the storm. Deep beneath the surface, Lila heard his desperate cries. Every instinct, every warning from her family screamed at her to stay hidden, to stay safe. But she couldn't ignore him. In that moment, seeing the boy she had watched with such fascination in danger, she made a choice. She broke her family's most sacred rule and swam towards the chaos on the surface. As she emerged from the depths, her small body began to glow with a soft, calming blue light. She took a deep breath and began to sing. It wasn't a loud or powerful song, but a gentle, soothing melody that carried a quiet magic. Slowly, miraculously, the raging sea began to listen. The towering waves softened, the howling wind quieted to a whisper, and the storm began to recede. But her act of defiance did not go unnoticed. From the storm's dark heart, her older sister, a fierce and powerful Stormcaller mermaid, watched with eyes full of fury. She saw Lila saving a human, betraying their kind. The momentary peace was shattered as the Stormcaller confronted Lila, her voice booming with anger and disappointment. Now, Kai and Lila were faced with an impossible task. They had to convince the proud and powerful mermaids that humans and sea folk didn't have to be enemies. They had to prove that friendship could bridge the gap between their two worlds, and so their small but magical journey began. Together, they explored the wonders that existed between the land and the sea. They traversed vibrant tide pools filled with tiny, jewel-like creatures. They navigated through mysterious coral caves that glowed with an inner light. And they swam through vast underwater gardens where plants of impossible colors swayed in the gentle currents. In these quiet, magical places, Kai showed Lila's sister the kindness and respect humans were capable of. He didn't try to capture the sea creatures. Instead, he admired them. He showed her the beautiful things he had collected, not treasures to be sold, but simple shells and stones he cherished for their beauty alone. He spoke of his family and his village, not as plunderers, but as people who depended on the ocean and respected its power. Lila, in turn, showed her sister the connection she had formed with Kai. She showed her how his laughter did unscare the fish away, and how his gentle touch did unharm the delicate coral. Through their shared adventure, the Stormcaller began to see the human world through a different lens. She saw not just greed, but also love, bravery, and a capacity for wonder that mirrored her own. Through their shared bravery and unwavering friendship, Kai helped the mermaids understand that not all humans were the same. And Lila, the shy little mermaid with the small, quiet power, became something much greater. She became a guardian of peace, a bridge between the sea and the shore. Her gentle voice, once thought to be a minor talent, became the most powerful magic of all the magic of understanding and harmony. The ocean and the village learned to coexist, their worlds forever changed by a friendship that sparkled with ocean magic, gentle waves, and glowing fins. Thank you so much for watching this story unfold. If you enjoyed this magical tale, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more adventures. See you next time.